My name is James Williams Jr. and I'm wearing the same clothes. It's the same day. I just put this hat on because my hair dried out and I don't feel like having to go through the fact of trying to get the shit to work right. It doesn't really work the way it is. But this is my Marvel Dukickie recording. I found these, and these are basically character guides. You know, the handbook, the character guides. I think Marvel should do an annual graphic novel of these to add the changes and the on changes. Maybe produce two of them so you'll have the 80s and the current, and just scale it down. You know, so you know how it was originally and then how the changes are made. And just because I think Marvel should do it doesn't mean Marvel does it. This is my own opinion. That's all. So basically, it's the same thing as this. This is the original type of hand guides, and it has from B to C, etc. And this is how they do it. Just make one gigantic ass graphic novel though, from A to Z. You know. Guess got finished reading some more what ifs. This was probably the best one because it has every what if possible title that you can have. And I did go through my Marvel thing, and there are actually some Marvels what the. So they do exist. They're not called what the fuck, but they probably were gonna say that. But anyway, my headband's a little bit too tight as I can feel my head swelling. I wanted to zone in on something real quick. I'm still trying to figure out Captain Universe. I don't really know him like talking about it, but I don't want you guys to mistake him for Major Victory because their suits are similar. And as soon as I figure out more about Captain Universe, I will let you know. But, I just thought I'd drop this little note on y'all about these little handbook guides. For those who don't know Marvel characters very well, and you want to know them, you should probably ask your local comic store character guys if he has the official handbook guide of the Marvel Universe, which gives you all the background you need to know about characters. Since they've changed so much over the years, it's kind of hard to even go by the ones I have in my hand now, because I have Black Tom Cassidy on that book over there, and I just opened this up to Doctor Strange, and they've changed so much about it. It's hard to say which ones you go by. Since I'm no longer reading comics, I'm going to stick with what I have in front of me because it helps me re-educate myself on what it was when it first came out compared to what it is now. So like I said, I'm still working on this Captain Universe fella using the number 2 book, so that's obviously the C's. The number 3 book is missing, so I have the number 4 book. I do know who Sean Cassidy is, and his cousin's on the other side, which is Black Tom Cassidy. And for those who don't know who Sean Cassidy is, he's Banshee. Alright? And he has a little daughter. I forgot what her name is, but I know her last name is Cassidy. And I forgot what her code name was in X-Force, but when she left X-Force, it kind of threw me back a little bit. Because they always seem to get rid of the people I like in most of the X-Men universes and stuff. So that kind of throws you off a bit when your favorite character leaves the comic book that you read. And I don't know if they either get a spinoff or they just decide to, kill them off or whatever. Now, I want to take a separate note so that you guys know that Marvel also has a live wire. Not like DC's live wire, who's a chick. Marvel has a live wire that's a dude. So, the best thing I can tell you guys is to get these little handbooks and these guides so you can find out, some of the things I'm talking about isn't exactly bullshit. Alright? So, when I made videos about, some of the Marvel movies that I really couldn't stand, it wasn't that I couldn't stand it, it's just that they didn't follow the structure that they have already laid out for us, and that the directors should probably follow the structures that the writers and Marvel had laid out for us. I would love for them to make a Marvel movie about what if and what the, and more importantly, I would love for them to make a Silver Sable movie because she's one of those characters that doesn't get a lot of attention, and she's female, and she's one of the baddest females in Marvel who does not have a superpower, by the way. She wasn't gifted with a superpower unless you count an extraordinary skill of kicking people's ass. And she has her little group, Sandman was in her group at one time. Battlestar was in her group at one time. I have no idea what's going on with Silver Sable in the Marvel Universe. If they haven't killed her off or anything, I haven't had time to go try to research it. But Marvel, if you're listening, please give Silver Sable a standalone movie. Hell, give her a show on Netflix like you did with whatever her name is, Luke Cage's wife. I can't think of her name right now. Whatever her name is, why don't you try doing that with Silver Sable? I'm pretty sure it will sell out, And I would say do it with some X-Men or more mutants, but I think there's like some legal issues going on there. And since you got Spider-Man back, I figured I'd like throw that into the pot and maybe make him have a guest appearance on Daredevil or whatever. Because they're all living in New York, and how they don't bump into each other would be a load of bullshit. Now, for those who are watching and don't understand how comic books work, everyone who lives in New York don't always bump into each other, and New York really isn't that fucking big. So let me break this down for you real quickly. Alright, if you are an X-Men fan, the X-Men do visit Manhattan, but they don't visit Manhattan or Brooklyn or the Bronx that often. They're usually in the upper northern areas of New York, which is basically Westchester and Salem, And if they go to like malls and shit, they don't really come to Manhattan unless there's like some kind of problems. So let me explain why they don't really come to Manhattan. You have the Avengers smack dead in Manhattan. You have the Fantastic Four in Manhattan. And you have, what the fuck's the other team? It's another team that's in Manhattan. You have them too. And I don't know what the hell their names is. And by the time I remember, this video will be over, so it's not like it's really that important. But you have a lot of teams fighting in Manhattan. New Warriors, they're also in Manhattan. And they all kind of sprang out all over Manhattan Island and Brooklyn, Bronx, and other New York areas. So you have to go to other places. Now, as far as the X-Men, like I said, they're in Winchester, Westchester, whatever. They're in Salem, New York. They're up north, But they don't scurry off into Philadelphia either. So, it's kind of like a double fuck, but I think Philadelphia is more like east. I'm all fucked up on the global map, so don't even follow with that last little statement. So, you're probably wondering, how come Spider-Man and Daredevil and them don't run into the Ninja Turtles? Different universe. Enough said. Completely different universe. The Archie comics run the new Ninja Turtle things or whatever. So they're never ever going to meet unless there's some kind of collaboration. Now, Marvel has been known to collaborate with DC, and they've all kind of put their best of their best up against each other and fighting. People will vote for them. They take these polls, and Wolverine versus Lobo. Lobo didn't have a chance, and they didn't even really get a real fight. Wolverine kind of made short work of Lobo. They only had a page where Superman annihilated the Hawk and Thor annihilated Shazam, and it was just all kinds of cluster fucking of shit going on. Robin beat Jubilee and they fell in love. Quicksilver lost to the Flash. I think it was Barry Allen and not Wally West. That kind of thing. You have to go look it up. There's the second saga that they did. I forgot the first saga. I've been still searching for it. I think the next time I go to the comic store, I ask the guy if he has it. And if he has a graphic novel of it, it would be easier to buy that because it'll be more expensive, but it'll be easier to buy it than to sit there and try to get all the issues behind. That probably doesn't make sense to you who don't read comic books, but there you go. Now, also while we're on that subject of them and these guides and switching out characters, I don't really think that you should ever change a character from its original origin. You could probably zest it up a bit, or make a new character that's the same guy, just an alternate timeline or alternate universe or whatever the hell, flip side dimension. Something that will not really change the character or debase him or her, but make it a little bit more exciting. But don't change the original character. You can always pull one in from an alternate timeline, like Nate Gray and Strife and Cable. All three of them have different paths leading to 616. So it's all relative if you just manifest new characters, but they're the same guy, but just out of a different universe, and they just kind of stumbled into our universe, which is normally what happens, and some of them get stuck and don't come back home, like Bishop. So when you're going through all these characters, you need to check that stuff out. So in closing, again, DC also has these same type of guides, and if you want to know more about these characters that you want to read about, the best thing I can tell you is go to your local comic store and see if they have any of the guides and see if they have the updated versions instead of the versions that I have, because the updated version, they've usually changed things. And if you're into DC Comics, which I'm not into too many titles in DC Comics, I love all their TV shows. I love some of the titles which happen to have TV shows. The best thing I can tell you is you want to know if they're original or if you want to know if they're doing the things from the New 52s. And the best thing I can tell you is you probably just want to watch or go back and read the New 52s and see what the hell's going on. That way you can be up to speed. I'm really not down with the New 52s. I heard it was great. Not, like I said, I swear to God, as long as I'm breathing, I don't hate DC. Don't get me wrong. They are great. They have great stories. They're finally getting a little bit more diversity in their characters. But I will be a Marvel man first and forever until the day I die. Now, that being said, if I can't get a job as an actor on a Marvel show, I will definitely jump ship to do a DC show. No, not that I love DC more than I love Marvel, because I don't. But you know, if there's a check involved, you can learn to love someone more. All right, maybe not, but you know, I'm gonna be honest about it. I just know more about Marvel because I started reading comics by way of DC Comics. Marvel won me over with Spider-Man. Spider-Man led me to the X-Men, and those were really the only comics that I really like. And then eventually, some X-Men became New Warriors. I started, you know, you travel in a certain flock when you're reading comic books, and this is the thing that a lot of people don't understand who don't read comic books or have never read comic books or have no clue what the hell's going on in the world of comic books. You have a certain type of element did you read when you read comics. All right, so let me break it down for you in case you guys are like lost in the sauce here and you're not tracking what I'm saying. All right, for DC, my favorite comic book character in DC, no matter what anybody says, no matter what anybody does, and I don't give a damn if you hate me for it afterwards, and you can give me your hate mail, and all you're gonna get back is this finger right here in stereo. My favorite DC character, no matter what, has always been Batman. He's a normal man with an ass load of money and fantastic gadgets. I've always liked Nightwing, and I've liked a lot of the characters that they did, and I'll tell you why I stopped reading them. I stopped reading them with the death of Jason Peter Todd because I'm one of the two people maybe that voted for him to stay alive in uh, Funeral for a Friend or whatever the hell the shit was called, where he died. His mom and him got blowed up because she betrayed him to the Joker. And at the same time, the Killing Joke came out, or the Killing Joke came out before, and Barbara got shot. And right about then, when they crippled Barbara, I was pretty much done. And the only reason I came back is because they were bringing in a new Batman, which would be Azrael. And I didn't like him at all, but he had a badass suit, and he was a badass, and I liked him, but he was going too far. And then before that, when they crippled Batman, that did it for me right there. I was done. I was like, you know, Batman has been the front runner for DC Comics like fucking forever. Now, I'm not knocking you guys who like Superman, alright? And I don't hate Superman. The only thing I hated about Superman is the simple fact that every color kryptonite in the known universe fucks him up on some level or other, but only the green kryptonite can kill him. And the worst part about that, and really the true only thing that I really hated about Superman is that the people in Metropolis needed some fucking glasses, some kind of bad. Because if I put on this mask and this hat, you still see that I'm James. But I spin around in a phone booth and put on something like this, you know, this is probably going to screw up everything today. But, you know, only one eye is exposed. But if I put on this, you're not going to know that I'm the same guy who just ran past you and put in a phone booth and changed my clothes. You're not going to know it's me. Alright? So, whatever the hell the magic bullet is in Metropolis, or whatever's in that water that no one can tell that Kal-El and Superman and Clark Kent are all the same damn guy, I am completely flabbergasted by that. Alright? Just want to put that out there. At least most of the characters that I read in Marvel have masks that don't affect their alter identity or whatever. Now, it's the same thing with when it comes to DC. Like I said, Batman will always be first. Lantern Corps and Flash are running at a smooth tide, especially when Flash was still Barry Allen. Once he became Wally West in Impulse, I was pretty much done, and that was pretty much the it of it for me right there. And it's the same thing with like Teen Titans. You know, when they started switching off characters and killing them off and hooking up people who I didn't think should be together, I was done. Now, granted, I don't work there. I have no right to be mad at who they choose to make couples. You know, It's not like they put out a poll that says, why don't y'all let us hook Raven and Robin up? Because that's what I was going for, but that didn't happen. And Dick Grayson wound up being with Starfire. Hey, cool beans. Have a daughter. I'm good. I'm done. Same thing with Rex and Hawk Girl. Not Rex, excuse me. Jon Stewart and Hawk Girl. Rex is their kid. See what I'm saying? Kind of fucks you up a little bit. And I don't know what timeline or any of that other crappy days, but it's the same concept of what I just said. So, and as far as Marvel is concerned, until I die, I will always be an X-Men fan or anybody who is a mutant. Preferably the ones that are actually heroes. And then, like, they totally flipped me when they made Deadpool an X-Men. And I was like, I might start picking X-Men back up because Deadpool, his worst enemy is Cable. And Cable is the son of Cyclops and Madeline Pryor, who's a clone of Jean Grey. And that's your updated history. And then they didn't bring in the other two kids that Scott has. Because apparently the Summers Dick gets around. So Scott has 3 kids, because he has Cable, that's his firstborn kid, and then he has 2 daughters, which is Rachel Summers in one timeline, and then the other girl who came and took Cable into the future to save him was the youngest sister, and I don't know her name. And then apparently Hope is their child, and she's being protected by Cable and Old Man Logan. At least that was like the last time I actually picked up a book and read it and didn't put it back because I was going to buy it, but I changed my mind. So, you follow through with these guides, and they'll pretty much give you the gist of the character. So, also, if you're going to make a movie, having some of these things on set isn't that bad to have. So the person that's playing the character that you invested in, should be there. So that way it solves a whole lot of problems. Until the next time, I'm Janice Williams Jr. This is Kung Fu Havoc number 2, and I hope you guys enjoy my comic book guide review, and hopefully you guys understand it. I'm not angry person. I'm just angry at the concept of you not following through with the way the character is or was written back when Stan Lee and Mike Ditka and all of them actually wanted the characters to be. When you get together with a whole bunch of people writing stories and you're having your story go straightforward, and then you have a curveball that makes it hang hard left, and then another one hangs hard right, and then you never get back on that straight path, it kind of discourages people from continuing to read. But then they have to read because somebody who never stopped reading will tell them, did you see this, this? And then guys like me who stop reading have to go get back issues. And then when you have to go get back issues, you have to find out what's going on. And then after you buy all the damn back issues, you're like, well, damn, I probably shouldn't have bought this shit. I should have just stayed where I was at until they got back on track, because you spent maybe $15 or better, and you kind of find out, well, all they did was throw you 2 curveballs. One went left, one went right, and then they went back on the straight path. I don't know why they do that, but Marvel has a knack of doing that all the time. So until then, I'm James Williams Jr. This is Kung Fu Havoc number 2, and this time, I'm actually out of here.